Imagine reaching retirement and discovering that one decision you made in your 20s quietly cost you almost £250,000. You were not scammed. You did not choose a disastrous investment. You simply waited. You told yourself you would start saving properly when your salary increased, the mortgage became easier, or life finally felt settled. But retirement planning has one brutal rule. Money can be replaced. Time cannot. A 10-year delay in meaningful pension contributions could leave you with roughly £250,000 less by retirement. So how can one ordinary delay create such an enormous gap? And if you have already started late, can you still recover? Let's find out. Intro. Retirement rarely feels urgent at 25. But while it feels distant, compounding is either working for you or being permanently lost. Every year you delay means missing both contributions and decades of potential returns. Click confirmation. By the end of this video, you will understand how a 10-year delay can create a retirement gap of almost £250,000, what the latest UK workplace pension rules mean, and the practical steps that can put your future back on track. If you enjoy videos about personal finance, investing, and long-term security, subscribe, because we upload videos like this every week. But to understand the true cost of waiting, we need to compare two people whose financial lives appear almost identical, at least at first. The retirement mistake most people do not notice. Meet Emma and James. They are both 25, earn similar salaries, and plan to retire at 67. Emma begins putting a total of £325 a month into her pension immediately. That total could include her own contribution, tax relief, and money from her employer. James decides to wait until 35. 10 years does not sound disastrous across an entire working life. He assumes he can catch up later. At 35, James starts contributing the same £325 every month and continues until 67. The only difference is when they began. Now assume both pensions grow by an average of 5% a year, compounded monthly. This is an illustration, not a guaranteed return, and it ignores fees, inflation, and future tax changes. By 67, Emma's pot could be worth approximately £556,000. James's could be worth around £307,000. The difference is about £249,000. James missed only $39,000 of contributions during the first decade, but he did not lose only $39,000. He lost decades of potential growth on that money, followed by growth on the growth it could have generated. That is the hidden bill for waiting. Most people already know starting early is better. So why do sensible people still delay? The answer is not only mathematics, it is psychology. Why "I will start later" feels reasonable. The first reason is that early progress looks slow. You contribute for months, check the balance, and it still seems unimpressive. But compounding is not a straight line. It behaves like a snowball. Small at the top, much larger near the bottom. Starting early gives your money more hill. The second reason is lifestyle inflation. People promise to save more when they earn more, but spending often rises with income, while pension saving barely changes. The third reason is false reassurance. Many workers see a pension deduction on their payslip and assume retirement has been handled, but being enrolled is not the same as being on track. The latest UK workplace pension reality. For the 2026 tax year, eligible workers are generally automatically enrolled from age 22 to state pension age when they earn at least £10,000 a year. The statutory minimum is normally 8% of qualifying earnings, including at least 3% from the employer. But qualifying earnings are not necessarily your full salary.
In 2026-27, the standard qualifying earnings band runs from £6,240 to £50,270. For someone earning £30,000, 8% of the full salary would equal $2,400 a year, but 8% of qualifying earnings above £6,240 would be about £1,901. That difference matters when repeated for decades. The legal minimum is a foundation, not a personalized retirement target. Emma did not build the larger pot because she discovered a secret investment. She did not trade every day. She simply allowed ordinary contributions to remain invested for longer. Sometimes the greatest financial advantage is not intelligence. It is time. The money you may be giving up. Opting out can look like an instant pay rise, but it may mean surrendering employer contributions and pension tax relief. Under Relief at Source, a basic rate taxpayer can pay $80 and have $100 credited to the pension after the provider claims tax relief. Some employers match above the legal minimum. Contributing below the maximum match may leave part of your compensation unclaimed. There is another important detail. The normal minimum pension age is currently 55 for most private pensions, but it is scheduled to rise to 57 on 6 April 2028, unless a protected pension age or another exception applies. A pension is designed for later life, so it should not replace emergency savings. How to avoid the $250,000 mistake. First, find every pension you already have. Check old statements and previous employers. Record each provider, balance, charge, and investment fund. Before combining pensions, check for exit fees, guarantees, or protected benefits. Second, check your exact contribution structure. Find out whether contributions are based on full salary, basic salary, pensionable pay, or qualifying earnings. Then ask payroll or human resources, what must I contribute to receive the maximum employer contribution available? Third, automate increases. Whenever you receive a pay rise or promotion, direct part of it toward retirement before your lifestyle expands. Increasing contributions 1 percentage point at a time can feel manageable, but become powerful over decades. Fourth, understand where the pension is invested. A pension is a tax-advantaged account containing investments. Many workers remain in a default fund without knowing its assets, risk, or charges. Check whether your investments are diversified and suitable for your time horizon and risk tolerance. Do not chase whichever fund performed best last year. Higher potential returns normally involve higher risk. Fifth, make the calculation personal. The $249,000 example assumes $325 a month, 5% annual growth, and retirement at 67. Your salary, fees, contribution rate, tax position, retirement age, and returns will differ. Use a pension calculator and test several outcomes. What happens if returns are lower? What happens if you retire earlier? How much difference would another $50 or $100 a month make? Open loop. But what if you were already 40, 50, or approaching retirement? Has the opportunity disappeared? No, but the strategy must change. What to do if you started late? A later start may require larger contributions, later retirement, lower spending, or additional income. Calculate the gap. Capture the full employer match. Review fees. Increase contributions gradually, and check your state pension forecast. Most importantly, do not take excessive investment risk simply because you feel behind. Trying to recover 20 years in 2 years through speculation can turn a manageable shortfall into a permanent loss. The worst response is delaying again because the target feels impossible. You cannot recover yesterday, but today's contribution has more time than next year's. Recap. Let's bring everything together. In our example,
Emma and James both contributed $325 a month once James began saving. But because Emma started at 25 rather than 35, her illustrative pot at 67 reached around $556,000. James reached roughly $307,000. That created a gap of approximately $249,000.
Not because Emma was a financial genius, but because she gave compounding an additional decade to work. The latest UK rules also show why automatic enrollment should not create complacency. The 8% minimum is usually based on qualifying earnings, not necessarily your full salary, and the employer's legal minimum is generally 3%. That may not be enough for the retirement lifestyle you expect. Outro. Retirement is not one luxury holiday at the end of your career. It may be 20 or 30 years of ordinary life. Food,
Heating, transport, home repairs, healthcare, and the freedom to live without depending entirely on another salary. That freedom is built slowly, one contribution at a time, for your future freedom. So this week, check your pension balance. Check what percentage you contribute. Check what your employer pays. And check what your money is invested in. Do not wait for the perfect salary, the perfect market, or the perfect moment. Because the best time to begin may have been 10 years ago, but the most valuable time still available is today. If you found this video useful, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more practical videos about personal finance, retirement, and long-term wealth. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.